You've heard the advice a million times, right? When you're feeling nervous, just fake it till you make it. It sounds so simple, almost like a cheat code for confidence. But what if that common piece of advice is actually making things worse? What if it's draining you of something you really can't afford to lose?
Yeah, that old chestnut. Look, faking it might give you a little jolt in the moment, but there's a massive, fundamental flaw in the logic. It runs on a power source that, for most of us, is already flashing red.
And this gets us to what we can call the fakeness fallacy. Let's actually pull this idea apart and see why it just doesn't work for building real, solid confidence that actually lasts.
Okay, so just think about this for a second. We all have this sort of fakeness battery, and we use it all day long. We pretend to be super interested in a boring story. We pretend we're not excited about something we're secretly dying for. We pretend to be super busy on our phones when we're really just checking the weather for the fifth time. And hey, let's be real, some days we might even pretend we took a shower. We all do it.
And that's the whole point. Our fakeness battery is already working overtime. So trying to add being confident to that enormous list of things we're already pretending to be, it's just not sustainable. It's exhausting. And it's exactly why that kind of confidence feels so fragile, because it is.
So, if faking it is off the table, what's the real answer? Well, the very first step in building genuine confidence is to get a clear picture of where you're starting from.
To do that, let's imagine a simple tool we'll call the confidence scale. It's a spectrum, right? All the way on one end, you've got crippling self-doubt and insecurity. And way over on the other end, you've got cockiness, arrogance, that kind of stuff. Now, these are the two poles we really want to steer clear of. Too much self-doubt freezes you with fear. You do nothing. But too much overconfidence makes you dismissive and unlikable. Neither one is the goal here. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so I should aim for the exact middle, but maybe not. Your sweet spot really depends on your own values. If you're a risk taker who loves moving fast, maybe you want to be a little higher on that scale. But if you're more of a careful, calculated thinker, a spot closer to the middle might feel much better. It's all about knowing yourself.
Okay, so once you have a sense of where you are on that scale, the next logical question is, how did you even get there? How does insecurity actually get built inside of us?
Well, the funny thing is, most of us start out at the top of the charts. As babies, we have zero reasons to feel insecure. But then, life happens. People start giving us feedback. We get teased, we get criticized, we get weird looks. And over the years, all those little negative moments and embarrassing memories, they pile up and they slowly start dragging us down the scale.
And all that stuff creates this really powerful voice in our heads, this negative internal monologue. And all of a sudden, these I can't statements start to sound like undeniable facts. They become the software that our brain runs on every single day.
And this software creates this awful, vicious cycle that just keeps proving itself right. I mean, think about it. If you truly believe no one likes me, then you're probably not going to try to talk to new people. And because you don't talk to anyone, well, no one talks to you. And your brain goes, see, I was right. No one likes me. It's a trap, and it's incredibly hard to escape. So, the big question is, how do you break out of that trap? Well, there are two really effective, actionable ways to rebuild real confidence right from the foundations. And you can really think about it from two angles. You can either work to change your beliefs first, which will then change your actions, or you can change your actions first, which will then change your beliefs. One is an inside-out job, the other is an outside-in job. So method one is all about reprogramming. This idea comes from a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and the concept is pretty simple. Your mind is running on a program, your self-image. If you want different results in your life, you literally have to rewrite the code. That means when those I can't thoughts pop up, you shut them down, and you spend time vividly, and I mean vividly, imagining yourself succeeding. Now, here's the wild part, and the reason this actually works. Your brain is a really funny organ. It often has a very hard time telling the difference between a real memory and a super detailed, emotionally rich imagined memory. So by visualizing success over and over, you're basically installing new, positive experiences for your brain to use as evidence. The guy who came up with this, Maxwell Maltz, he was a cosmetic surgeon. So he saw this up close. He'd see two patients who had the exact same feature, let's say a big nose. One person would be living their best life, totally successful. The other person would use that exact same nose as their excuse for why they couldn't do anything in life.
It proved to him that it was never about the nose. It was always about the belief attached to it. All right, so if the whole reprogramming thing feels a little too in your head, there's a second, much more direct way to go about this, and it's called doing the impossible. The idea here is simple. You intentionally go out and do things you are 100% convinced you cannot do. You are on a mission to collect cold, hard evidence that you are wrong about your own limits.
And we're not talking about climbing Mount Everest tomorrow. Your impossible task could be waking up at 4:30 in the morning if you swear you're not a morning person, or running a distance you've never run before, or just deciding you're going to meet 5 brand new people today. It's anything that makes that little voice in your head scream, "No way, I can't do that."
The power in this is just incredible, because the moment you actually do one of these impossible things just once, the entire I can't story you've been telling yourself starts to crumble. You've just introduced a new piece of data, undeniable proof that the old story might just be, well, wrong.
And really, that's the core of it all. The most direct, most powerful path to building confidence that isn't fake, that is truly yours, is to start doing the impossible.
Because every single time you accomplish one of these things, you're not just checking a box. You're building a mental library of your own wins. You're creating these powerful reference points. So the next time you face a new challenge and that old I can't voice starts whispering, you can look back and say, yeah, but I also thought I couldn't do that. And look what happened.
So let's forget about faking it. It's time to start building it, one piece of real proof at a time. And that just leaves one final question for you to answer. What impossible thing are you going to do first?